Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. Family and friends gathered Wednesday to pay respects to 16-year-old Elizabeth Medina at St. Mary's Cathedral in Grand Island, Nebraska. Medina's mother discovered her daughter's body in the bathtub after Medina was stabbed last week in their Edna apartment. Authorities arrested 23-year-old murder suspect Rafael Romero last Saturday at a mobile home park just outside the Schluttenberg city limits. Lavaca County Today reports they actually arrested Romero back in October of 2022 for a home burglary that took place in early September of that same year. Romero faces capital murder charges and could receive the death penalty if convicted. On December 6th, the Victoria County Sheriff's Office reports the Precinct 4 county barn was burglarized. Numerous tools, a welding machine, and a sign machine were taken. The suspect was captured on video. The suspect's vehicle is a four-door, full-size pickup truck with a toolbox. If you can identify this suspect, call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200.
A repeat offender was sentenced to prison by a Victoria County jury for cocaine possession. Tuesday, 51-year-old William Makachek was found guilty of possession of a controlled substance. In September 2020, at a traffic stop, Victoria police found Makachek in possession of more than 4 grams of cocaine. Makachek had been sentenced to prison in 2015 for a felony DWI. After he had been arrested for DWI at least 5 other times, the jury handed down the maximum sentence of 20 years in state prison. Victoria County deputies worked a major crash involving an 18-wheeler. This was in the 14,000 block of U.S. Highway 59 North near FM 1686. Traffic was diverted on the shoulder on off of FM 1686 to Old Highway Road. Around 3:45 today, Victoria firefighters responded to a fire call at Patty Walter Middle School. The Victoria Fire Department says there was a light haze in the building. They found an electrical HVAC motor went out in one of the classrooms. A few students say they were rushed out of the building and they heard smoke alarms go off. School let out at 3:45.
4 people are running to fill the District 30 state representative seat, including Brett Baldwin, who is a development consultant and former VISD board member.
Victoria Mayor and mechanical contractor Jeff Bucknight is also in the race, and veteran service officer Vanessa Hicks Calloway makes a second attempt for the state representative seat. Her first run came during the primary election that was almost 4 years ago.
Former and retired Jackson County Sheriff A.J. Louderback also wants to serve District 30. All this comes after Representative Jeannie Morrison stated she is not seeking re-election after holding the District 30 seat since 1999. The Republican primary is Tuesday, March 5th of this coming year.
Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, I've got this feeling from what he's been saying that in about 24 hours we're going to be all wet.
I do believe we will be. As a matter of fact, the storm is beginning to move. Here's a sort of a slanted view of it. You can see that's San Angelo right about there. So it's already moving across the panhandle, and then another vicious line is setting up behind it as well. So it's going to be a long, interesting next 24 hours because that's going to be coming through here, giving us a very good chance of some heavy rain. We'll be talking more about it coming up in just a moment. Back to you, Don.
Mac, thank you. The driver of an 18-wheeler in Harris County could be facing charges after a fatal accident involving an SUV today. The Harris County Sheriff said a Chevy Equinox SUV crashed into a semi carrying an oversized load of steel beams. The 18-wheeler didn't make its turn, so the driver backed up to try again. And when it reversed, the SUV slammed into the back of it, ripping off the roof. Police then found a 38-year-old man sitting in the back seat of the vehicle dead. 2 other adults and a 13-year-old girl went to the hospital where they're expected to survive. Now, a woman who cut off her ankle monitor and fled the country while awaiting trial last year is found guilty of murder in the fatal stabbing of a 23-year-old Seattle woman. After several days of testimony, a jury found Lisa Dykes guilty in the death of 23-year-old Maricela Botillo. Dykes is also guilty of a second charge of tampering with a corpse. Maricela was last seen leaving a bar in Dallas before police discovered her body 6 months later in a wooded area near Wilmer. 2 other people face charges in her death alongside Dykes, but the Dallas County District Attorney's Office dismissed prosecutions against the 2 other defendants.
A lawsuit recently filed by a Texas A&M University student claims he was forced into what he calls degrading and humiliating hazing acts last year inside a campus dorm room. KPTX reports the 10 defendants named in the lawsuit were all members of the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets at the time of the incident. The lawsuit says the incident happened on October 17th, 2022. The lawsuit seeks $1 million for past and future medical expenses, along with past and future physical pain and mental anguish. The Texas House spent at least $3.7 million in taxpayer dollars related to the impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton. The Texas Tribune reports the House released records that included invoices from the law firms, the 2 renowned Houston attorneys who led the case against Paxton, Rusty Hardin and Dick DeGuara. The House's impeachment tab is higher than the $3.3 million taxpayer-funded settlement that Paxton sought from the House. That started the whole impeachment process. State and industry leaders assure Texans today that the state's energy grid is better prepared for the cold months ahead. Natural gas and geothermal energy giant Calpine announced a major new investment into the state's energy grid, a new 425 megawatt natural gas power plant in Freestone County. It's between Waco and Tyler. The plant is expected to provide power to 85,000 more homes, adding 3,000 additional megawatts to the grid this year.
Power grid is as ready and reliable as it has ever been for the winter season. We have more generating and dispatchable resources available to the grid than we have had in any prior winter in history.
The investment comes after the state legislature approved a massive plan to provide low-interest loans to energy companies as incentives to build more power plants. The plan focuses on what they call dispatchable energy, meaning fossil fuels are readily available whenever needed.
In Washington, President Joe Biden is facing a formal impeachment inquiry after House Republicans voted to authorize it just last night.
Democrats are criticizing this inquiry, calling it a smear campaign.
The resolution is adopted.
In a party-line vote, the House of Representatives approving a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. The resolution allowing the investigation into Biden into allegations Biden abused his power to enrich his family and whether he made decisions while vice president to boost his son's businesses.
The House has now spoken, and I think pretty loudly, pretty clearly, with every single Republican voting in favor of moving into this official impeachment inquiry phase.
Evidence uncovered has shown a very disturbing trend by the Biden family. We've spent months in this investigation accumulating evidence. We have a simple question that I think an overwhelming majority of Americans have.
A nearly year-long investigation has yet to reveal any hard evidence to support GOP claims that Biden was directly involved and benefited from his son and brother's foreign business dealings.
We know that President Joe Biden is a good, honorable, and decent man, dedicated his life to public service, to making a difference for the American people.
The White House calling the impeachment inquiry a baseless stunt.
Instead of doing the work of the American people, they're doing this.
Before the House vote, President Biden's son was subpoenaed to testify before House lawmakers in the impeachment inquiry against his father. Hunter Biden faces federal tax and gun charges after a plea deal reached with prosecutors fell apart over the summer. In a rare appearance, he spoke out publicly on Capitol Hill Wednesday.
There's no evidence to support the allegations that my father was financially involved in my business because it did not happen.
The impeachment investigation is expected to ramp up next year as the presidential race kicks into gear. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Washington.
An investigation into America's largest credit union shows a very big disparity in mortgage approval rates between white and black borrowers. The report showed Navy Federal rejected more than half of its black mortgage applicants last year. An analysis last year showed how Navy Federal Credit Union approved only 48% of black applicants for conventional home mortgages, while white borrowers were approved more than 75% of the time. Navy Federal denied a request for a comment or an interview. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us coming up on 25 News now at 10. Authorities are investigating a series of bomb threats made to multiple airports in Mississippi.
Also ahead, some Coca-Cola drinks are under a recall in 3 states over a potential foreign material in the cans.
My favorite holiday song is Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell.
1, 2, 3. Feliz Navidad. Bum, 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 bum.
Santa baby, come put a sable under the tree for me.
Oh yeah, last Christmas I gave you my heart.
And so I was singing, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Masters in this hall.
Masters in this hall, hear me today. Something, something, something.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Silent Night, honestly. That's a classic. Silent Night.
Always cry.
Holy night. That's too big.
Because my favorite Christmas song is the one where it's like, chestnuts roasting by an open fire. But the one with Justin Bieber.
From all of us here at 25 News Now,
Happy holidays.
Multiple airports in Mississippi received email threats Thursday morning that led to evacuations of passengers and employees. At Gulfport Biloxi International Airport, more than 200 employees and passengers were evacuated. An airport spokesperson said the email came in early this morning at around 9:30, and out of an abundance of caution, security conducted a building sweep. The all clear was given 2 hours later.
When we were told to evacuate the plane, next thing we know, we were walking down the road. We ended up all the way at the end of the road, basically just watching. They had fire trucks and then cops pull up, and we just didn't really know what was going on.
After about 2.5 hours, the all clear was given and the airport resumed normal operations. 3 other airports in the state also received bomb threats via email, but no bombs were found.
Tesla is recalling nearly 2 million of its cars in the United States in order to limit the use of its popular autopilot feature.
That's right. Here's more on this massive recall.
Tesla launching a massive recall to update the autopilot feature in millions of cars to make sure drivers stay attentive when they're using it.
This is a really big deal because with 2 million cars on the road, it impacts just about every Tesla that's on the road right now.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said Tesla's popular autopilot feature can give drivers a false sense of security and be easily misused in certain dangerous situations when the technology might not be able to safely navigate the road.
It can steer and accelerate and brake automatically in its lane on the highways, but it cannot drive itself, despite what it's called.
Tesla says it will update the software wirelessly. Once it's updated, drivers will receive more warnings when they're not paying attention to the road when the autopilot's auto steer function is turned on.
Tesla's fixes include additional measures like visual alerts, simplified controls, and other checks to kind of make sure the driver really knows what's going on.
The cars may also disengage the auto steer feature when the software determines the driver is not paying attention. Patrick George, editor-in-chief of Inside EVs, says it's important for drivers to educate themselves and understand the limitations of the technology.
I think above all, just be willing to and ready to step in and take the wheel when you need to, because these cars are not capable of driving themselves yet.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
The inventor of Tesla, Elon Musk, plans to open a STEM school in Texas. Tax filings reported by Bloomberg show that the billionaire put in about $100 million to start the school. The science and technology focused primary and secondary school will be based near Austin, with the goal of expanding into an accredited university. Musk moved to Texas in 2020 out of dissatisfaction with California's high taxes. County land appraisal data shows Musk's companies hold at least $2.5 billion in property, including the Tesla factory near Austin, it's huge, and SpaceX's launch site in Boca Chica. And maybe at these schools they can teach people how to fix Teslas. You know, wouldn't that work
Knock
great?
out 2 for 1, yeah.
I think so. Why not?
Might as well.
Well, here's our viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Here's the question. Would you attend an Elon Musk school? Yes or no? Karina, how about those numbers?
It looks like 39% are saying yes and 61% stand at no. I find that when it comes to Elon Musk, it's a really hot topic. You either yes or no on the guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's so big and he's the world's wealthiest man and has a lot of things going on in Texas.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how this plays out. Thanks for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. Now, nearly 2,000 cases of Diet Coke, Sprite, and Fanta Orange are under a recall due to possible foreign material inside the cans. The FDA says the impacted beverages were pulled from stores in Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. The recall began on November 6th, but authorities say there are no more affected cans out on the market. Still, they want customers to check for any of the recalled items by checking the UPC codes on the FDA's website.
Hey, Don, what do they call the school? Do you want to be a billionaire?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to be a billionaire?
Well, that'd be a wide marquee there, you know.
Here's my other question. Is he going to charge tuition if he's the richest man in the world?
Well, why not?
You're asking all the right questions.
I still think they should call it XU.
He should get just the best of the best.
There we go.
Best of the best all over the world and give it to him for free. But that's kind of what I would do, but I'm not a billionaire. Anyway, folks, good evening, everybody. We're looking at 60 degrees right about now. We managed to get up into the 70s today because we had that little hole of clouds that sort of dissipated and gave us a little bit of sunshine. But the clouds are back, and we only had 1/100 of an inch of rain. And tomorrow is the big day when we expect some big, heavy rain to come in and make it a rather soggy Friday night. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. We're getting ready for that big rain that I've been promising you for a couple of days. 60 degrees right now for us, 62 out in Cuero, and we're looking at 67 down at Port O'Connor, okay? Not far from the Matagorda Ship Channel. How about that? All right, our winds are continuing to blow out of the east because everything is now shall we say, aimed at the storm that is developing in the Rockies that's going to produce all this activity. You can see how everything's sort of flowing in this way. Well, the storm has already moved out of New Mexico. It's on top of the Panhandle right about now, and you can see how there's some big activity up and down the front side of that storm. And right out of here, exactly where the storm is located, you see the development of line after line of thunder showers. Let's take another look at it. Now, we're going to kind of do a 3D thing here. Where San Angelo is down here, Amarillo straight to the north. There's some snow there. And here's the next line developing. So the reason that this thing is, I've been watching it for so long, is because it is, shall we say, going to be loading up and getting ready to roll through our area. This is Future Tracker, and we asked, okay, how much rain between now and Sunday? And it says that we could have, let's see, dark green is up to a ½ inch, light green up to 1 inch. In the blue, it's over an inch. So we could have some significant rainfall around the area. Now let's take a look at how it's going to track. And although you might say, well, it's not happening down below I-10 or I-20, but that is going to change. There you see that by tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., the line is going to be almost solid all the way down to Del Rio, although the big stuff's not there. Remember, it's going to be moving in here into a moist field, into a humid field, and it's going to have all the juice necessary to get going. And of course, it's that low on top that's going to produce all that vertical motion. Here's 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. That's why I think it's going to be raining around here about this time tomorrow night. Now, the question is, will we get that rain? And I think yes. Will it be heavy? Well, some places will get over an inch, but here's the good news for the whole thing. By Saturday morning, it all blows away. It becomes a huge problem for the East Coast, but behind it, Texas is going to be doing very nicely for Saturday and Sunday. It's just Friday night. Now, a lot of people traveling on Friday, going northbound, going eastbound, going to Houston, going to Dallas, you're going to run into that thing. And so plan accordingly. If you can, go a day later, Saturday is going to be gorgeous. So 62 in the morning in Port Lavaca, getting up to 68 in the afternoon, mostly cloudy with a shower activity beginning in the afternoon hours. And then tomorrow in Cuero, 59 in the morning, 69 in the afternoon, overcast skies, and then the rain coming in probably after lunchtime, closer to the afternoon hours. So that's our 50% chance of rain. That's Friday night. By Saturday morning, we pick up a gusty north wind at about 22 miles an hour, and it'll be kind of breezy, but it will blow everything away, and it'll be a very nice day with temperatures in the 60s. Sunday is going to be spectacularly beautiful, so is Monday and Tuesday. So it's Friday night. Watch out for the rain when it comes in. That's your 7-day forecast. Just reminding everybody, we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. And now it's time for sports with Zach.
Well, a close game after the first half, but how did the second half go? I'll have that coming up in sports. Well, thanks, guys. I mean, I'm not going to bear the lead. Tidehaven does fall in the state championship game, 30-14 to the now multiple-time champion Gunner Tigers. But let's focus on the local Tiger. We got Joseph Dodds here. That's right, man. That's nothing to be ashamed of right there. This is your first time in a state championship game. You absolutely balled out. You carry the guys on your back at sometimes. I mean, how was the feeling playing in Cowboy Stadium in a state championship game?
I mean, it's just a great feeling. I mean, many people didn't get this opportunity like we did, and I'm forever grateful for that.
What is this? I mean, Coach Lucy always talks about, he gives you the highest remarks, says you're like an Adrian Peterson and all these other NFL legends. I mean, what has this Tidehaven program meant to you over the last few years?
It means a lot to me. I feel like I feel like I've been doing this my whole life, and I've really improved over the years, and I can thank him for that.
Now, I mean, the vibe after the game, obviously you guys were upset, but a lot of you guys seem to be very proud of what you did. You see a lot of people that were still happy for the Gunner Tigers. I mean, what is it about this program that allows you guys to just have such a high character and not hang your heads after something like this?
Because, I mean, something like this hasn't been done in about 42 years, and we're a pretty great group, and I'm proud of all of them.
All right, Joseph, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you. Yes, sir. All right. Now we got Kevin Rickaway. All right, Kevin, man, obviously not what you guys wanted, but, I mean, you guys held Gunner to the lowest point total that they had all year. I mean, these guys have put up 80 and 70, and they've won 31 games in a row. I mean, you got a lot to be proud of on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, man. I mean, we knew it was going to be a tough one, number one defense, so we just let everything we had out on the field, made sure we had no regrets. I mean, it was a 50-50 who was going to come out, and we just came on the downside of that one.
It was 50-50, man. You guys had them right where you wanted to. It seemed like sometimes. Now, the crowd absolutely showed out for you guys. I mean, even after the game, they were still so proud of everything you did. You got to walk up to them with the trophy. I don't know if you guys know this story. There was actually a guy in California who got a last-minute plane ticket just to watch you guys play. I mean, what does it say about the El Maton community to come all the way down here just to watch you guys play?
I mean, it's a great community. I mean, we're all small, but, it's like another family down there. I mean, they teach you a lot of lessons. We fight for each other. We work for each other no matter what. We're always there for each other.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you guys get to it, man. You guys go on and enjoy that, man. Not a lot of people got the opportunity to do this. I wish I could have caught up with head coach Lucio. He was tied up with a whole bunch of other stuff. But, I mean, these guys have, like I said, absolutely nothing to hang their heads over. They call this defense the children of the corn, number one, because they're ugly. Number two, because they get to the ball. Words from defensive coordinator Bobby Gonzalez, not me. And they just held the Gunner Tigers to only 30 points. In the second half, Tidehaven let a few great opportunities, drop balls, bad offsides penalties, and it led directly to Gunner Tiger points. Now, we'll see what the future holds for this Tidehaven program. They appear to be in good hands. Kel Russell coming back. Lucio actually said Kel Russell, one of the most accurate quarterbacks he's ever coached. So they are losing Joseph Dodds, losing some other talent, but hey, we'll see if they can be right back in this game this time next year. Reporting live from AT&T Stadium, Zach Brown, KVUTV 25 News Now Sports.
Great effort.
A great effort, and I'll tell you something, both those teams going into the game tonight, state championship game, undefeated.
Both
How would you like
undefeated.
to have your only loss for the season come in the state championship game?
Not many people can say that, it's just like Zach said, so it's an incredible effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to the Tigers.
Yeah. Now stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we're going to take a last look at your weather with Mac. Plus tomorrow is a sweet day for dessert lovers. It's National Cupcake Day. We want to see your holiday pet photos. Come to our Crossroads Facebook page or X page to submit your photos. Happy holidays.
Some kind-hearted Wisconsin firefighters used an inflatable boat to save a stranded deer. The animal had been stuck on a frozen portion of the St. Louis River in Superior. The rescuers put on their ice suits and loaded the deer into the inflatable rescue craft. Then they released it into nearby woods unharmed. The German Shepherd is ranked as the top dog in 16 states. Forbes advisor asked the question to 10,000 dog owners. For people who live in the most populous states of California, Florida, and Texas, Bernese Mountain Dogs took the top spot. Forbes survey did not show French Bulldogs, which is a really trendy dog to buy and expensive, as ranking in the top 3 for any state. By the way, the final score in that football game was Gunter 30 and Tidehaven 14. So Gunter is the top dogs this year in let's see, Class 3A Division II. Great season for them. I don't know if we can use the word great about tomorrow night's weather.
It's great if you want rain. If you want rain for tomorrow night, it's great. If you don't want rain, well, that's bad. But that's the nature of it, folks. It's coming in. Already rolling into West Texas. We'll see that shower activity increase during the day, and by afternoon and evening is when we expect the heaviest rainfall. And then the good news is that it clears out on Saturday morning. The weekend is going to be quite all right. Just look out for some flooding spots on the highways as we drive around on Friday night.
All right, thank you, Mac. Now, Friday tomorrow is National Cupcake Day. December 15th is a day of celebration for the uniquely American pastry, the cupcake.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it was American either. The first recipe appeared in a book called American Cookery back in 1796. Some people called them patty cakes or 1, 2, 3, 4 cakes at first, and that's because the recipe called for 1 cup of butter and milk, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, and 4 eggs. Little cakes.
It was years before I realized that there were other cupcakes besides blueberry, because blueberry cupcakes were my favorite.
I'm a fan of blueberry muffins. I think I got to try blueberry cupcake.
Oh yeah, they're good too.
I'm impressed that it's an American invention. I thought the French did all the pastries.
Like they always do, right?
They do all the pastries.
No, this one's ours. This one's ours.
This was our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10.
Join us for 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night, everybody.